Welcome back everyone, I'm Ma'am Shomi and this is video number 2, Birches by Robert Frost. There will be video number 3 as well, and together we will be doing more than 50 multiple choice questions on the birches. Please watch the first video and kindly wait for the third video. Now let's proceed with our second video. Come on, let's start reading from question number 24. What is withered bracken? A type of fern that grows at ground level. Reed. And what is reed? Reed is a water plant. Dried leaf or both 2 and 3. The right answer is, the meaning of withered bracken is a type of fern that grows at ground level. The next question, 25. They are dragged to the withered bracken by the load. To dry in the sun. The whole portion. What is implied in these lines? Suppleness of birches, destructive nature of ice, endurance in the face of life's struggles, or both 1 and 3. The right answer is both 1 and 3. The entire section, this portion, the quoted portion, represents not only the suppleness of birches but also endurance in the face of life's struggles. Why are birches dragged to the withered bracken by the load? The birches have been uprooted. The birches are bent heavy with the load of ice. The birches are bent as numerous birds have perched upon the branches, or all of the above. Well, the birches are dragged to the withered bracken by the load because of the heaviness that is brought about by the load of ice. Hence, option 2. The birches are bent heavy with the load of ice is the right answer. The next question now, and they seem not to break, though once they are bowed. Identify the poetic device. Alliteration, metaphor, hyperbole or irony. This is very easy. The answer is option 1, alliteration, because of the use of break, be in break, and bowed starts with a B. Hence, alliteration. The poet compares the perennially bent birch trees to young girls sunning out their wet hair, women completing their chores, young boys playing in the sun, or a maiden. The right answer is option 1, young girls sunning out their wet hair. The trunks of the birches lie arching in the woods for 2 years, a century, years afterward, or a year. The right answer is years afterwards. How does the poet compare himself with the bent birch trees? He has to bow to reality, but he is not going to be broken by it. He will reconcile to his lot. He will rebel against everyone, or he will remain bent like the birch trees. Again, it's option 1. The poet has to bow to reality, but he is not going to be broken by it. Question 31. But I was going to say, when truth broke in, which figure of speech is used here? Is it personification, irony, hyperbole, or simile? The right answer is option 1, personification. Here truth is personified and T is in capital letter. Question 32. When truth breaks in a matter-of-fact manner, the poet prefers. Here the word matter-of-fact is very important. Matter of fact. What happens? What does the poet prefer then? The poet prefers the workings of a boy, the workings of birds, the workings of ice storms. The right answer is he prefers the workings of a boy. Why does the truth of the boy swinging the birches serve as an antidote to the matter-of-fact truth of ice storms? The former, that is, the truth of the boy, leaves scope for dealing with reality through imagination. The former offers scope for the poet to recapture his youth. Well, he is not trying to recapture his youth here. He is trying to recapture his childhood days and childhood experiences. The latter, that is the matter-of-fact Truth of ice storms demands the acceptance of an opaque fact. There is no more to it than what is, or none of the above. The right answer is the former. That is, the truth of the boy swinging the birches leaves scope for dealing with reality through imagination. Option 1 is the right answer. The next one, question 34. What did some boy go out to fetch? A cow, flock of sheep, primroses, or the cows? So what is the answer? It's line number 24. As he went out and in to fetch the cows. So the right answer is not a cow but the cows. Option 4. The next one. Which outdoor game is mentioned in Birches? Football, volleyball, rugby, or baseball? Again, let's refer to our text. Line number 25. Some boy too far from town to learn baseball. So, this is very easy. The right answer is baseball. Option 4. Summer or winter and could play alone. What is implied here? Lack of playmates, irrespective of season or circumstance, carefree thrill, all of the above. The right answer is all of the above. Option 4. What was the only play found by the boy? Climbing and swinging from the branches again and again, playing baseball, taking the stiffness out of the birches, or both 1 and 3. The right answer is option 4, both 1 and 3. And the lines are, just refer to your books. What are the lines? Whose only play was what he found himself, summer or winter, and could play alone. One by one, he subdued his father's trees by riding them down over and over again until he took the stiffness out of them. So the right answer is option 1 and 3. The next one now, question 38. Where did the boy, the speaker imagines, live? On a hilltop, in a city, on an island, too deep in the woods to play baseball, in town? The right answer is, this boy lived too deep in the woods to play baseball, in town. Option 4. The next question now, question 39. Where did the boy bend all the branches? On his father's property, on his friend's property, on his neighbor's property, or everywhere? The right answer is on his father's property. Option 1. Question 40. What was the effect of the boy's only play on the branches? Made them shed their leaves, made the trees flexible and droopy, sap oozed out of the bark, all of the above. Option 2 is the right answer. The effect of the boy's only play on the birches is made the trees flexible and droopy. Question 41. What is evident from the way the poet imagines the boy? The poet is reliving his childhood in his nightmares. The poet remembers his lost friend. The poet is reliving his childhood in his daydreams. None of the above. The right answer is option 3. The poet is reliving his childhood in his daydreams and not in his nightmares. The next one, 42. He always kept his poise. Now, what is the meaning of the word poise? Composure, balance, speed, both 1 and 2. The right answer is composure and balance. So, option 4 is the right answer. The next one, 43. He learned all there was. What did he learn? How to safely cut the thorny shrubs, how to safely swing from the birch trees, how it is important not to jump before reaching the part where the trunk is most flexible, both 2 and 3. Right answer, option 4, both 2 and 3. How to safely swing from the birch trees and how it is important not to jump before reaching the part where the trunk is most flexible. Question 44 now. What did the poet suggest when he said, he learned all there was? The boy becomes worldly wise. The boy was a good learner. The boy learns to aim high, test boundaries, making the most of what is available. All of the above. The right answer is option 4, all of the above. Metaphorically, he becomes worldly wise. He is a good learner, definitely, and he learns to aim high, test boundaries, making the most of what is available. Which one is not? Not a major theme in Birch's nature, inevitability of death, memory, childhood. Well, the major themes are nature, memory, childhood. The right answer is inevitability of death. 46 now. To the top branches, climbing carefully. Which figures of speech, more than one, are used here? Imagery, simile, alliteration, both 1 and 3. The right answer is option 4, both 1 and 3. We have imagery and we have alliteration. Climbing carefully. Example of alliteration. And why is this imagery? It is an example of what? Visual imagery. The readers can visualize. So, visual imagery, the boy climbing to the top branches and he is climbing carefully. The next question now, question 47. With what does the poet compare the pains the boy takes each time he climbs a tree? With broken glass, with girls sunning their wet hair dry, with the filling of a cup to the brim or even above the brim, with walking through a pathless wood. The right answer is option 3, with the filling of a cup to the brim or even above the brim. The next question now, 48. What did the boy do when he reached the top of the tree? He fell down, cut one of the branches of the trees, jumped straight to the ground, kicking his way down through the air, or waved his hands. Again it is option 3. Option 3, jump straight to the ground, kicking his way down through the air is the right answer. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you all are studying well. Please come and watch video number 3, which will be uploaded very soon. Stay connected, stay healthy. Till then, bye.